guys, Jack here from Peach Guitars. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying and you can hear what I'm playing. I've got my phone here to my left so I can get some of your comments. Basically, just to fill you in on the situation, in case you didn't see our live video yesterday, the shop is now shut to the public as per UK law. For all of our UK viewers, you'll know this, but for anyone watching abroad, let me fill you in case you don't know. The UK is now going on lockdown, so all of the stores are shut. Non-essential stores are shut. So I am here by myself because we've got a few staff here that are left fulfilling online orders and taking customer calls and responding to emails and stuff like that. So basically I've got the saloon to myself, which is great, and business is still going ahead as usual online. So if you want to make any purchases, you can still do that. Yesterday we did a live video which was very well received, so thank you to everybody who watched that and commented and liked it. Basically, for anyone who doesn't know, we are going to be doing as many live videos as we possibly can to try and keep our content nice and healthy. Gives you something to watch and hopefully keep you entertained while you're stuck at home, and hopefully it will still give you some inspiration if you're looking for some new gear, because as I say, we are still, as of right now, we're trading online, so there's no problems there. I'm just reading a few of the comments here about the sound. Basically, we've got our rather primitive YouTube live setup, so just for full explanation, my voice is probably going to be coming out of the left channel, and when I'm playing guitar it's going to be coming out of the right, so that might be why you're not hearing this in stereo. Hopefully though you can still hear everything clearly enough to get the message across. So that's kind of the basics. What I wanted to do, as we're kind of in lockdown, is something quite cool that I've wanted to do for ages, and I've just picked out 10 or so of what I think are the best guitars in the shop right now, and we're really just going all in. So I've picked out some of my very favorites. Unfortunately, all these guitars are 4-digit price branded, so hopefully they're still going to be of interest to you, but basically we just wanted to get some great sounds. So I'm playing through John's 2-Rock Classic Reverb Signature here on the stage. It sounds immense in the saloon. If anyone's been to the store, you'll know this is a great open space, and so when you can crank an amp in here, it's absolutely brilliant to do so. So just showing off some nice bits of gear basically, because we've got tons of it. So what I was playing at the start is this, which is probably my favourite Les Paul that's in the shop right now. So this is a 68 Les Paul. You wouldn't think so by looking at it because it's a gold top, but it is a 68 Les Paul, but in a gold top finish. And basically it just sounds immense. As you'll have heard at the start there, some of the best things about Les Pauls, for me, the character that I look for the most is having clarity. And you don't always find that that's the case. Sometimes you find that they're a little bit too muddy sounding. But this guitar just absolutely sings in all the ways that you want a Les Paul to, but it's got, I think that the late 60s spec Les Pauls have a little bit more of that clarity that I like in a guitar. So I'm just going to show you some tones, and I'm going to zip through the rest of the guitars that are on the stage. I'm going to try and answer as many of your questions that are coming in as I can. That said, there's a lot of guitars on the stage. I'm not going to spend too long on this live video, but I just want to kind of hopefully offer some entertainment to you guys, hopefully keep you interested, and let you know that this will be as regular as we can make it. And I'll fill you in later on in the video as to the kind of scheduling that we're going to set up for the rest of our videos going forward. But today, it's Tuesday evening here in the UK, and we're just having a bit of fun. So I'm going to play some more on this Les Paul. I've also got a couple of gain pedals on my board. So I'm going to talk you through which ones I'm using when I'm using them. What you heard at the start there was the Vemuran Shanks ODS1, which is a kind of Dumble style overdrive, and married up with the 2-Rock. That's obviously a really nice combination. So let me play you the 2-Rock first, then I'm going to play you that Vemuran Shanks pedal, and then I'm going to play the other gain pedal which I've got, which is the Friedman Dirty Shirley, which I'm using today for more of a high gain, obviously Marshall style drive. So I'm going to show you those three sounds with the Les Paul, and then I'm going to start showing you some of the other guitars as well. So here's the clean tone of the 2-Rock. Sounds immense. Sounds like this. Okay, there's the clean tone. Let me show you the Shanks pedal now. Okay, that's that, and I'm going to show you lastly the Friedman pedal I talked about as well, which is set up for a bit higher gain, and it's going to induce some whittling, I would imagine. So here we go. Okay, so those are the three tones I'm going to be working with. I think they all sound great. It's a nice sort of balance. So hopefully the cross-section of guitars I've got, there'll be a tone that's suitable for each one. And I'm not going to treat this like we do with the listing videos that we shoot, where basically I try and cover as much ground that each guitar is capable of as possible, because I just don't really have the time to do that. And those videos exist already. So I'm just going to basically go through each guitar, pick out the best sound that I think they're suitable for, and just play a couple of minutes on each. So that's this Les Paul. If you want any more info on these guitars, I do believe that Mr. John Priest is hopefully watching this video and is signed into the YouTube, and he is going to respond to any of your questions regarding some of the more technical stuff. So if you want to know the specs on these guitars, if you want any info on the prices, we'll try and link you to the website as we go. So ask away with all your questions. I'm going to be playing. Hopefully John is going to be answering some of those questions for you, and if he's not, or we can't answer them all immediately, we will reply to the comments that you leave on the video later on. Okay, so with that said, I think we've heard enough of this Les Paul. I'm going to show you some of the other stuff we got on the stage, so excuse me as I zip around. I think I'll do some telly style action. So we feature a lot of tellies on the YouTube channel and on Instagram. Largely Fenders, of course, but there's several brands that we stock here that make T-style or telly-style, let's call it what it is, instruments, this being one of them. So this is a Patrick James Eggle Oz, and this is the blonde burst nitro finish with a master grade neck. So what Eggle do is basically, I think they kind of put their own stamp on these guitars very individually. They're UK made, which is a rarity in itself. And then basically they just kind of, they don't adhere to all the traditions of a telly style build. So for example, the volume and tone and the pickup selector are actually switched round from what you'd normally see on a telly style control panel, which I think is you're either going to really like that or you're not, but that's just showing that they try and mix up the formula for this kind of guitar. And also tonally speaking, because they're using different woods, and again I'm going to let John, if he's on this, I'm going to let him fill in some of the specs, but this is a roasted maple neck on this guitar. I'm pretty sure, he might correct me on this, but I think this is an ash body. So that is pretty standard form for a T-style guitar. But the pickups that they use are a little bit hotter than most T-style pickups. They've got a little bit more heft to them. So I'm going to play it, I'll let you be the judge of what you think it sounds like. It can still do that traditional telly thing, but I'm going to show you with some of the gain pedals. I'm probably going to use the Vemiran pedal on this guitar, so not too high gain, but I'm going to show you a couple of the tones that I think it really suits. So let's start with clean, and I'll show you some gain stuff too. Right, so hopefully that came across, that this guitar can do all the telly stuff that you want it to do, but I do like that it's got a little bit of extra heft to it, and I think that's something that a lot of people are looking for in a single coil guitar these days. You want something that's going to be a little thicker than a traditional sounding single coil guitar. And you can do it with this in substantial style as well, because you have got the master grade neck, you've got that gorgeous sort of semi-translucent nitro finish on this guitar as well, so it's quite unusual, but I like it. You've also got stuff like this contoured heel as well on the neck, so it's really easy to get up to the higher frets. You've got 22 frets as well, which is obviously a little bit of a kind of update on the 21 frets that you would have on a traditional telly. So just a few of these little things that we look for in boutique guitars, or John looks for when he's looking for brands to take on. Eggle is obviously one of the pioneering brands that take these classic designs, modernize them a little bit, but still adhere to what most people are looking for when they think of this style of guitar. I hope that makes sense. If you want any more info about this, make sure you check out the listing video that we've already shot for it, and check out the web listing, which will probably be linked somewhere in the live chat, so keep an eye out for that. I'm going to move on to a different guitar though. Okay, I've got another Les Paul lined up here, but I won't do that just yet. We'll do something different. I'm going to grab this Collings actually. So to those who know, Collings is a very, very luxurious, high-end guitar brand. They make electrics, they make acoustics as well. I think they're probably more known for their electrics these days because they've had some really high-profile players using them, like Joey Landreth, etc. But basically, they just make quality instruments. And again, just looking at this guitar, you can tell it's a little bit of a mashup of some different elements of guitars of the past that go into making their own kind of unique model. So this model is a 360 LT. It says special edition, and this is an Olympic white aged finish. So what they tend to do, kind of, I would say the opposite to the Eggle I just played. That's very kind of contemporary and got some different elements going in there that make it more of an artisan guitar. This is kind of, basically, I think what Collings try and do is they make models that they think should have existed in the 50s and 60s, but they're doing something different that you haven't seen before, potentially. So let me show you some tones with this one. Obviously you've got the Jazzmaster style P90 pickups in this guitar, so I'm going to try and avoid some cliches, but I do have a Jazzmaster style trem as well. We'll see what happens, and I am playing a clean Fender style amp. Let's see what happens, but I'm going to play with some gain as well. Okay, a real load of fun to play this guitar. If you're thinking this is going to play and sound like a typical offset guitar, I think you'd be very surprised if you actually played this for yourself. When I jumped to the gain sound there with the Friedman pedal, having a pickup like this actually responds really well to that kind of sound as well. And just the feel of the neck and the feel of the bridge as well is different to any other offset guitar that I've played before. And I think it just lends itself to some more versatility than you might expect out of that style of instrument. But as you'll have heard on the clean tone, it can still deliver that kind of sound if that's what you want, because it's still got the same kind of tremolo setup, the same style of pickups. So very versatile instrument, and obviously when you're investing in a Collings, you've got the absolute highest grade of instrument building, prestigious, kind of miraculous, all the terms that are applied to this kind of unicorn breed of guitar. But they're not unicorns because they are here in stock. So if you want to purchase one, if you want to purchase this, or check out any of the other Collings that we've got, please check out peachguitars.com. Again, this will be linked in the live chat or in the comments down below. So I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to skim along to something else. Somebody did make reference to this next guitar earlier in the comments I saw. So this is really special. This is a PRS Modern Eggle that came into us last week. And we filmed the listening video for it last week, and we uploaded it to YouTube, and a lot of you guys jumped on this video. We got a lot of comments about this guitar, and it really is just it's one of those special instruments. I really enjoyed playing it back then, so I'm hoping that I'm going to once again. Spec wise, the modern Eggles and basically any of the PRS private stocks are all very unique. So this guitar, for example, has got this gorgeous, I assume that's rosewood neck, and I think it's an ebony board. I could be wrong about that, but it's going to be linked. Again, the link is going to be in the live chat, so you can check out the spec and tell me I'm wrong if I am wrong. But I'm just going to play it for you and hopefully let the sound of the guitar explain everything I want to explain. Okay. So something I just want to point out before I get onto the gain tones is I did actually see a video where Paul Reed Smith himself was talking about this. I think I saw it yesterday. What he does to check over a private stock guitar before it leaves the factory. And one of the main things he was talking about was the dynamism of the guitar's pickups. I can't tell you exactly what pickups are in this guitar right now. I'm sure it'll be linked in the specs. But when you play this guitar very softly, it's got that really wiry, open, clean tone. And then when you dig into it, it's not a really overpowering set of pickups, but it will distort a little bit and does what a good humbucker should do, which isn't always the case with humbucking pickups. It's very often that you don't find that kind of level of dynamics. But let me show you anyway on the clean sound, and then I'm going to put on the Vemuran pedal and show you some sort of mid-gain gain tones as well. So there we are. There's a great example of a private stock PRS. Hopefully you'll have heard when I went to the gain sound as well, that dynamic sensitivity that I was talking about, which I really wanted to try and stress there. Basically, I don't really need to say any more about the aesthetics of this guitar, because just look at it. I'll hold it here just for a few seconds, but if you want to check out this guitar in higher resolution, check out all the professional images that we've already shot for this guitar on its web listing, and you can also check out the video listing too. But just, it never hurts to be reminded of how beautiful PRS guitars are and just how fantastic they sound as well. So this is probably one of the best examples of a PRS that I've ever seen come through these doors. Along with this next guitar, someone has asked about the green Xotic, which I will get to that, but before I do, I want to show you these. So these came in sometime last year. This is the PRS Special Semi-Hollow, and it's always been a little bit of an enigma because it's a limited edition guitar, yet we've been very lucky to attain quite a lot of these guitars throughout the course of the year, and we're still lucky to have a few that are available for sale. Not that many, but some, including this one, which is, let me just remind myself of the colour, this is Burnt Maple Leaf, and I think that's a really, really striking finish. It's always interesting to get different grades of PRS side by side, like compared to a private stock. Obviously you can see where the extra details go into a guitar like that, but this is just one of the core guitars. It's not even a 10 top, I don't think, and it's just still absolutely stunning. And obviously that reflects in the price that you pay for these instruments, but the sound of them I think is just as fantastic, because they've still got that level of attention to detail in the dynamics of the tone. And when these guitars first came in, we've filmed a couple of videos on these actually. They're just one of my favourite models of guitar that I've ever played. They're so unique, and obviously anyone who knows PRS's output of recent years will know the connection with John Mayer. Obviously he's now got the Silver Sky model, but before that he was playing the Super Eggle guitar, which was developed for his work with Dead & Company, and that's kind of where the essence of this guitar, with the mini humbucker in the middle, kind of came from, I think. It's not the same exact setup, but I absolutely love the sounds you can get out of this guitar. So I'm not going to walk you through the entire pickup selections that you can get. If you want to find out more about the Special as a model, you can find out the overview that we shot on YouTube. We'll link that down below. But I just want to show you some of my favourite sounds. So I'm going to go to position 2. I'm going to use the Vemuran pedal and basically just not even use the pick. I'm just going to do everything with the finger style and show you just how dynamic this guitar can be. And I just think it sounds incredibly unique, and I really love these every time I play them. So let me prove that to you. And it's just one of those instruments as well. It's so percussive sounding, especially in that second position. I love that sound. And it lends itself to that style that I'm not going to do exactly right now, but the stuff that John Mayer is known for, particularly playing with Dead & Company, where basically you let your thumb do most of the work. And let me turn the gain pedal off and I'll show you a little bit of the clean sound, and you'll just hear some of that percussive quality coming through. I'm going to put a bit of a slap delay on as well, just to accentuate it. So that's just a little fraction of what this guitar is capable of. I will just sign off with it by playing you some high gain stuff as well, and then I'm going to move on to the green Xotic. So let me just show you what it can do if you really want to lay into it. I'm going to use the Friedman pedal, by the way. Yep, so I absolutely love this guitar. So if you want to find out more information about it, check out the overview video that we've already filmed, but even better, if you want to get one, please go to peachguitars.com. The link is already in the live chat, I think I can see it, for this particular guitar, but there are a few finishes left, and as I said, these are limited edition, so once they're gone, you won't get another one, so you know what to do. Go to the website and buy the one that you like the most. That being said, let's move on to something that is not limited edition, but equally unique. So these guitars, Xotic guitars, we've covered a lot. So hopefully you guys will know we are the UK exclusive dealer for Xotic, and the standard core collection of guitars, known as their California Classic series, we've had in here for years now. I know John does really, really well with them, and basically what they were similarly with the Eggle, they're basically takeoffs of classic Fender style designs. So you've got S styles, you've got T styles, and spec wise they adhere very closely to what people know, but they do change things up. They use roasted maple necks, they use their own raw vintage pickups as well, but through and through they're largely classic Fender inspired designs. But this guitar represents something that we saw that was new at NAMM 2020, which was the Xotic line. And what that is basically them opening themselves up to be a total custom shop. So they're still sticking with their body designs of the S and the T style, but now you can get different things going on. So obviously this is a gorgeous green sparkle finish, previously unavailable. It wasn't a standard option, but it is a custom option. Also, having the S style with the two humbucking pickups was never a standard option as well. But you've also got the roasted maple necks, so some of the same specs that carried across from the California Classic, the locking tuners, the raw vintage pickups, but now the Xotic line, which we've hand-picked a few of their guitars so far, but there's loads more on order, and the beauty of it is you can custom spec your own guitar. So we've got a few here that will serve as inspiration if someone wants to spec something for themselves, or if you want to basically just get an idea of what the brand is about. You can check out any of the guitars that we've got from the Xotic line. There's definitely something for everyone, but this guitar is hands down my favourite, and when it came in, I absolutely adored it. I love the way it looks. I love green S-style guitars anyway, but having the two humbuckers on there is a little bit of a unique touch, so you don't see this kind of guitar set up very often. And then when I played it as well, it's got that dynamic quality that I look for, and also you've got a volume control for each pickup, so when you're in the in-between position, having both pickups on, you've got individual volume controls for each pickup, which is really cool. That's very much a Gibson style quality that they've put into this guitar. So let me show you some tones. What I think I'll do, I'll show you a bit of clean, and then I'll show you with the Vemiran pedal. It's not going to go too high gain, but I'm going to show you a bit of the variety of tones you can get, and show you just how nice this guitar sounds clean as well, because people still have this misconception that humbuckers will only do gain sounds. Let me prove to you otherwise. Right, so everything there from clean to that nice mid-gain sound, just super clear. Something I love, as I said, is having the two volumes, so you can do that. Jimmy Herring is one of the best players that does this kind of thing. If anyone doesn't know Jimmy Herring's playing out there, go and check it out. He is amazing, and he often uses an S-style guitar with two humbuckers in the middle position, and then you just notch back the neck pickup volume a little bit, and it really just fattens up what would ordinarily be a bridge pickup sound. So you can hear everything there. It takes you from sparkly clean to something that's way more kind of thick and more well-rounded than a traditional S-style guitar would be. Plus it looks like that, which I don't need to say any more about. I love this guitar. I hope though that someone is going to buy it, because it will remove the temptation from myself, and it will also make someone very happy. So I hope that this guitar serves as a great example of what Xotic is about. Hopefully it will inspire you if you want to custom order something of your own. But if not, check out the range of guitars that we've already got in stock, because I'm sure there'll be something that will tickle your fancy. Probably this guitar for most people. I think this is a great counterbalance of everything. So that's that. Let's do something that I haven't done yet, surprisingly, which is a single coil Strat. So This is one of the very best custom shops that we've ever had in. This is 69. Where's the specs? Yeah, so this is a Jason Smith masterbuilt Strat, 69 Strat in Inca Silver. And I don't know why it's still in the shop, to be honest with you, because this is what the custom shop is about to me. I know that some people like the super authentically recreated guitars, and some people don't like the relic stuff. I totally get that. But what they're doing here is just having a bit of fun with their history, and they're kind of incorporating these different elements. When I say they, I mean specifically Jason Smith in this case. They're throwing in all these different ingredients into the pot that made them so successful as a brand, and they're just having some fun with it. And really, this is one of the best examples of that. I'm going to show you how it sounds first of all, and I'm going to let John fill you in with the rest of the spec on this guitar as to what the pickups are and stuff like that. But I love a big headstock Strat. I think you don't see them often enough, and I do think it adds something to the tone. It adds a little bit of depth, which I'll demonstrate to you right now. I'm going to show you the clean tone first, and then I'm going to use the Vemuran pedal just for a bit of mid-gain stuff. Okay, so it does everything that you want a Strat to do, but I do think it has a really kind of unique voice. I don't know what the pickups are in this guitar, but whatever they are, they really, really work. And you'll have heard that when I went to the bridge pickup, it doesn't do what a lot of Strats do, which is to really thin out and go a little bit nasal and kind of shrieky. There's actually a fair bit of kind of movement to the sound, but it doesn't sound like a humbucker or anything like that. It still sounds like a Strat, whereas the neck pickup is really, really open. So it's just this really unique kind of character that's in this guitar. Plus, again, aesthetically it works, I think. I really love this guitar. It's got a really nice relic job on it. It's not too over the top, but it just does what a good Strat should do. So if you're interested in custom shop guitars, I'm sure you've got a preference or a certain spec that you might like, but maybe you haven't considered something like this before. It's just a little bit different and veers more towards obviously the later era of Fender's output, the late 60s stuff. I think they're often overlooked guitars. We've got tons and tons of custom shop stuff in at the moment tons more on order as well. But the master-built stuff is not always something that you see every day. So I just wanted to put this out here as one of the best strats that I've ever seen in this shop. I think it's a great example of what the master-built stuff is about. So if you like it, jump on it. But there's going to be loads more master-built stuff coming in the near future as well. So it's a great strat there. I'm going to show you something I don't show very often at all. I'm just going to reach over the back here to do it. So bear with me 1 second. Okay, so Gretsch, of course, this is a Brian Setzer model, one of the 6120Ts. This is quite a new guitar to us. This only came in quite recently. And we've got a couple of guys here that are definitely the resident Gretsch enthusiasts. I've never been much of a Gretsch player myself, because it's very hard. I think you really have to find the right one that will kind of sway you into the brand. This is definitely one of those guitars. I felt when I played it for the first time. It's just got, because you kind of have the Gretsch sound in your head. If you're not that familiar with it, it's the same with if you're a Les Paul player and you want to buy a good Strat. You have that sound in your head, but sometimes it's very hard to actually realise that sound as to what a Gretsch should be. Whereas this guitar just sounds exactly like what a Gretsch should be. So let me show you that when I got it in tune, of course. Should have prepped this really, should have tuned these guitars. It's not like I've had anything else to do other than make videos and play guitar. But we're going to be there in a second. Okay, so clean tone into the 2-rock. I'm going to use the middle position as well, and that's kind of the quintessential Gretsch sound, I think. Alright, so I scanned through there a bunch of different sounds from this guitar, just to show how versatile a Gretsch can be when you kind of get comfortable with one. Obviously the clean tone is what a lot of people go for, and it's got that kind of airy quality, as well as that sort of chime when you're in the middle position. I then went to the Vemuran pedal, and it's got that nice mid-gain sort of squashy characteristic. And then even with the Friedman pedal, it's got the kind of high gain thing down as well. So this is a great example of a Gretsch doing its thing, I think. As someone who doesn't know that much about Gretsch guitars or have that much experience with them, I think that this is just one of those that you can kind of, this is a great introduction to the brand. But equally, if you're an aficionado like some of the guys that are here, they really revere this model, because this is everything that the history of Gretsch is kind of embodying in one guitar. It's got a great player associated with it, Brian Setzer, of course. One of the very best, guitar players, I think, that's currently playing out in the world. He's an amazing guitar player, but he's obviously known for his rockabilly style, using a Gretsch guitar. And I also wanted to include a Gretsch to kind of honour our late friend Martin as well, who used to work here. He was a massive Gretsch fanatic, and we'll never forget about Martin and the enthusiasm that he's had for Gretsch guitars in the past. So we want to carry that on by continuing to stock some of the very best guitars in the world from this fantastic brand. So I hope this is a great example of that. If you want to find out more Gretsch guitars that we've got, go to the website. It's going to be linked in the live chat, and you'll find out all the stuff that we got there. Okay, I probably bit off a little bit more than I could chew today by grabbing this many guitars. So I'm just going to speed things up a little bit here, and I won't spend as long on each guitar. I do have a tendency to waffle, unfortunately. This is one of my very favourite guitars as well in the shop, because, not just because, but largely because it's associated with one of my favourite guitar players, Mr. Steve Stevens, who's lucky enough to have not one but two Knaggs signature guitars, this being the first of those two. So this one, when I've got it in tune, I'll tell you more about it. This is an SSC, and you've also got the 7X as well. Of his signature models, but this one I think is perhaps a little more in keeping with what his style has been for the past few years, as well as what Knaggs is known for with their Kanai model. We've had the luxury of playing a lot of different Knaggs models as of late, and they've obviously introduced some really cool new stuff at NAMM this year as well. But I just think that this is one of the best guitars that they've ever made. This is one of my favourite signature models that exists, but within the Knaggs family as well. It's just such a great single cut style guitar, and I'm going to show you just some of my best sort of Steve Stevens infused licks with the Friedman pedal, just what this sounds like, because it's mega. So let me just show you. So it's just a mega sounding rock guitar. Obviously it looks fantastic as well, and this is something that Knaggs marry up really well. They've got the aesthetics down, but they've also got a really unique kind of tonal quality. They've got a lot of cut and clarity, And yet, despite being such a simple formula, I think all of their signature models and all of the Knaggs models that we've seen as well, they managed to impact this very signature tone to not only the signature models but each individual guitar. So for such a simple guitar design that these are, I think they all sound quite different to one another. And the Steve Stevens kind of has my favourite characteristic because it's nice and fat sounding, but it's still got that immediacy and the attack that a player like Steve Stevens needs when he goes for those neck pickup leads. You'll have heard that the bridge pickup sounds really full-bodied and the neck pickup sounds really, really clear and articulate, and that's kind of what most people want out of a single cut style guitar, especially when you want to put some gain on it. This is one of my very favourite guitars in the shop for that reason. And even better, these guitars are on sale. So if you get to peachguitars.com, you'll find that the price for this instrument is maybe not quite what you expected it to be. We've basically discounted a few of the Knaggs guitars so that hopefully even more cross-section of players out there will be able to attain these guitars for themselves. I think I would like to buy a Knaggs one day. Don't know which one it's going to be, but this is a great contender. Again, if you want to find out a more kind of wide variety of the tones that these guitars can produce, check out the listing videos that we shoot for each one, and you'll hear some of the clean tones as well. But I just wanted to show that kind of full bore gain sound. That's what this guitar is made for. I think we are getting there actually. There's only two more guitars to show you, and I've left one of the best and most exciting here till one of the last. This is a brand new manufacturer that we've taken on for this year. This is Nik Huber. So we saw these guys at NAMM, and I think we wanted to get them for a little while, and finally all the cards fell into place and we're getting them. So these are very, very, very well crafted guitars made in Germany. I would say, you know, if you kind of like the idea of what the Collings stuff does, it's easily at the same quality level as those guitars, but they're offering something very different, and this is their Rietbergen model. So curly maple top, trans gold metallic finish. This is the first Huber that we've seen, but we are going to be seeing more in the future. But this is just such a unique instrument, and something that Hubers have that's really unique is that they've got the clarity there, quite immense clarity in fact, but they've also got the heft of a humbucking pickup. So let me show you the clarity I'm talking about. I'm going to use the Vemuren pedal and just show you each of the three different pickup settings, and you'll hear just how much clarity is in this guitar. Just an amazing sounding guitar, and I did use the coil split as well at the end there, so you can just get a really wide variety of tones just by using the guitar. I left the gain pedal on there the whole time, but just how much clarity is in this guitar, I don't know of any other guitar that we sell anyway that has quite the same level of detail in a humbucking tone. Obviously that's either going to be something you like or you don't, but sometimes people complain about having, particularly with a big bodied guitar, using especially the middle position I find often gets a little bit muddy. There's just none of that at all with this guitar. So if you want something a little bit different, you're going to be seeing a lot more of these guitars coming in soon. But this is the first one, this is the only one at the moment. So make sure you get to peachguitars.com, click the link that's in the live chat, and you can check this out in more detail for yourself. So that's pretty much all I wanted to show you. I did say at the start that there are about 10, but there's a little bonus guitar. So I said that at the start the gold top Les Paul was probably my personal favourite Les Paul that's here. I think it's safe to say that this is objectively the most beautiful Les Paul that's here. This is one of the Lee Roy Parnell models. So it's a takeoff of a 59, and we've seen a couple of these, and we were lucky enough actually that one of the guitars that we had of this spec actually sold to Slash. So there's a little bit of a cool connection there. If you want to kind of jump on that train yourself, then you know that this quality of instrument is good enough for a player like that. And for someone who can have any Gibson guitar in the world, to choose something of this spec does make you think why. But I'm going to show you why, because it sounds great as well as looking fantastic. So I'm going to show you with the Friedman. I'm going to round off this video just by playing this guitar with a bit of gain and showing you why it's one of the best Les Pauls that we've got, not only in terms of its looks, but the way it sounds too. So there you go, that's what a great Les Paul can do, and you don't often see a Les Paul, especially in a 59 spec, that looks like this. This is one of the very best Les Pauls that we've got in stock. So that covers a little nice cross-section of guitars that we've got here in the store, and if you want to buy any of them, as I've said, you can do so by going to peachguitars.com. Check out this live chat, because I think we've linked to every guitar that we've talked about here, so if you want to jump straight to the website, you can do that. I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been a lot of fun for me to do. We're going to try and do this as often as we can. As I talked about at the start, we're going to be doing live videos whenever we can. The store is shut, but a few of us are still here trying to make some content for you and to fulfill your sales orders and your questions and stuff like that. So long may this continue. Who knows what's going to be happening over the course of the next few weeks, but I hope that everyone is staying safe and taking care of yourselves at home. And of course, this is the best time you could possibly have to play guitar. So if you want to buy some new gear, you can still do it with us. You can purchase anything that I've talked about here or anything else that we sell on peachguitars.com. So make sure you check out the website. I hope you stay safe for the rest of this week, and later on in the week, make sure that you subscribe to YouTube, because we will be doing this again, and we'll pick a different theme and we'll do some really cool content similarly. So stay tuned, have a great week. I hope that you all take care, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.